Welcome to Mile2 Certified Incident Handling Engineer. Your courseware materials should have included your student workbook, your lab guide, as well as the code of ethics that you need to sign. This class is designed for incident handlers, leaders of these incident handling teams, system admins who tend to defend their systems and respond to various attacks, and basically anyone that finds himself in a situation of dealing with computer security. The purposes of the course is really to better prepare you to handle and deal with and resolve basically these security incidents. This course also aligns with the DoD, Department of Defense, 8570 Level 3 requirement. This course generally runs for 5 days. Day 1, we will look at incident handling, threat vulnerabilities, and exploits. Day 2, preparation phase, incident handling ticketing system. Day 3, identification phase, first response, as well as looking at some tool sets from sysinternals. Day 4, containment phase, eradication, recovery, and follow-up. Day 5, virtual machine security, malware incidents, as well as preparing for the exam and perhaps taking the exam. When you take the exam, it consists of 100 questions. You're giving up to 2 hours, and it is a multiple choice format. You can also complete the alumni registration form. Module 1, Incident Handling Explained. The idea behind incident handling is preparation, detection, management, and resolution of incidents or events that could occur within the world of information systems. Also looking at the management of the life cycle of these various incidents. When you think of a security event, is any event that occurs in your organization pertaining to security. Now, some of these events could be damaging, and some could be basically pretty harmless. And we have to evaluate these events to come to that determination. We do not want to suddenly go, oh no, the sky is falling, when maybe it's not really. We have to evaluate each event because it could be something very simple that we could resolve. When we think of common security events that we may be interested in responding to, of course, there's malicious codes, there's hackers that are trying to scan our systems, probe our systems, maybe even break in. They may be launching denial of service attacks. Maybe it's just a user that is using our printers, our resources, company assets in a way that they're not supposed to do. Espionage. Maybe it's an unauthorized or attempted unauthorized access. A breach or attempted breach of sensitive information. Maybe they're trying to read information they should not have access to, or make changes to information that they have no right to make those changes to, therefore violating integrity. Or perhaps their intention is to make the company appear unavailable, lacking availability, which would affect their reputation. Of course, there can be, overlapping events too, and so on. When you think of a security event, we do have to evaluate it and see if it does warrant the activation of an incident response team or whether it's something that we can handle. These events do have to be investigated. It could be something as simple as an administrator installing legitimate software, and we have to look at that and go, oh, that's okay, an administrator's doing this, they're supposed to be doing this. But at the same time, if we discover that it's actually a hacker doing something, then we're going to have to respond quite differently. Then we look at incident response. The idea is if we have something that justifies a response, then we have to simply see what type of incident is occurring and putting the right effort into solving that particular incident, coming to a resolution. And potentially there could be a lot of money involved, especially if we lack preparation. The idea is to properly and rapidly handle the incidents that could have various impacts. Anything from threatening human life, financial loss, which could really mess us up as a company. We may have a hard time existing if we have, too big of an incident occurring. Exposure to legal issues, liability, loss of customer confidence, damage to our reputation. Perhaps we were hacked and that was out on the news. And of course, we as a company are looking pretty poor as if we're hacked, especially repeatedly, in the eyes of the customer. They may choose to go to someone else. Loss or of damage of data, or even integrity issues where they make modifications to our information when that should have not happened. The concept is not so much that we can necessarily always prevent everything, but we can be better prepared. We can be more proactive and put measures in place that could detect an incident, which could potentially prevent it from escalating, minimizing loss of money and time, and give us just a better understanding so we can move forward and make better decisions with this. Common goals of incident response management. The idea is to detect and respond to the security incidents, provide focus and resources to documentation, planning, and training. So the idea is if we are better prepared, we know what we're supposed to do when a certain type of incident occurs, then we have a plan. We're trained. We know what to do. We want to be able to detect and communicate and respond, and of course, escalate security incidents if it's something we cannot handle. And of course, allow for the identification of incident impact and prioritize, like a triage. The idea also, reduce our losses, reduce downtime, figure out who did this, who's the bad guy, who's the attacker, potentially prosecute. Of course, good forensics would help with this, digital forensics. And of course, there may be a requirement of compliance or some requirement from our customers. What is the incident response plan? The idea is it's a document. It defines many things. Various incidents, security levels, response plans, putting together teams, responsibilities, authorizations, communications, who do we talk to, and essentially, recommendations, guidelines, and what we're going to do. When does this plan actually get initiated? It's going to depend. In some situations, it might be a much higher security environment where if anything looks suspicious, we go straight into the plan. Or it might be a situation that it has to be, in our particular company, it has to be something much bigger for us to say, okay, let's instigate, let's go forward and do this plan. Because we're not really working necessarily on the same security level for every company. Some companies may have more sensitive information. Maybe it's something that's top secret, and we're going to act a bit differently. Here are your 6-step approach to incident handling. We're looking at preparation, identification and initial response, containment, eradication, recovery, follow-up. So as we proceed through this course, we're going to understand threats. We're going to look at the 6-step phases just mentioned: preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, follow-up, as well as looking at special cases of VMware security, which is virtualization, as well as malware. So here we go. Let's have some fun.